Hello guys. In this section I want to talk about one of the important things that we have in Python. I mean lists. Lists are built-in data structure that we have in Python that we can store a collection of items in a specific order. They have some features. For example, one of them is they are mutable. It means if you define them and define a list, after that you can change the value. They are ordered. It means items that we are adding maintain the order in which they were added. Okay, I will make an example about this in some minutes. Another feature that they are heterogeneous. It means you can use for example, 2 data types, 3 data types. I mean, they can contain item from different data types. If you don't know about data types and what are them, I will put a link in a description and you can watch that video and know more about the data types that we have in Python. So let's go and start with a simple list. I want to have a list to store for example 3 fruits in that. We will define it like this. First one will be apple, second one will be for example banana, and the last one will be for example cherry. Okay, I defined a list like this. And the important things that I want to show you here, let me simply print it out, print fruits, and we can see what we have here. And as you can see, we have our list here. The important things that, one of the important things that we have in the list is the order. The order that we have in the list will start from 0, not from 1. For example, this one is item 0, I mean apple is item 0, banana is item 1, and cherry is item 3. Okay? And we can access each item like this. For example, in bracket we can have the, for example, number 2. And with this line of code, I'm telling that go to list the name with the name fruits. And after that, please go to item number 2. I mean the index is 2. And after that, please print it. If I run this code, you can see the cherry as an output here, output of our code. Okay? So, if I put 0 here, what will happen? It will print apple. So, it's really important to know in the lists the index and the order will start from 0. I mean the index will start from 0. So if you want to access to the apple and mistakenly put number 1 here, it not works and it will print out the banana for us. So it's really important to take care of this. Okay. Now, as I said, the lists are mutable. I mean, I can change the value. For example, let's assume that we have banana here, and I want to change the value of banana. What can I do? Simply, fruits index 1 should change to, for example, blueberry, something like this. Okay, and if I print the whole list that I have, as you can see, the second item with index 1 changed to blueberry. Okay, also I can add an item at the end of the list. How can I handle this situation? Simply we can say fruits.append. This method are telling that please add this item that I'm telling to you at the last index. I mean, For example, add another one here, and at the end of the list, I mean, and add another item to the list. For example, let's have blueberry here, simply like this. And if I run the code, I can see that blueberry added at the end of the list. Okay. Also, another method that we have and we can use in lists, simply, let me comment it out. We can add each item that we want. I can simply set fruits dot remove, for example, let's see, apple. I'm telling that please go to the fruits list and remove this apple item. And if I run the code, I can see we have the banana and cherry here. It should be exactly the same as something that we have here. And if I do something like this and change that, so it will face an error. Okay, so let's go and define another list here. I want to have a list with numbers, and it will be start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. It will be enough. And if I print the list out, I can see the list in output. As you can see here, the type of each element that we have here and each item that I have here is integer. In previous example, there was a string. I will talk about the feature that I told at the start of this session later, that we can have multiple kind of type of value in a list. Okay, let's go and let's continue this example. I want to print or maybe use part of this list, that some part of this list that I have, not whole of them. How can I handle that? For example, I want to print first item to third item. How can I handle that? Simply, I can say 1, 4. 1 column 4. And as you can see here, it will print out 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The first item, excuse me, the second index that we have here, and until here. Okay. Another thing that I can have, that we can have here, is to, for example, if I want to print out from start to, for example, second position. How can I handle that? We can simply put the first element, this one, in empty column and 3. Okay, in this case, what do you think? What it will print out? Let me comment this one and see what we have here. It will print 0, 1, 2 from the list. Okay, let's have another example. Let's assume that we have this print like this. Let me remove it here and put 3 here. What will happen? What do you think? Just please pause the video, think about it, and write in the comment what do you think, what is the output of this. So let me run this. As you can see here, it will print from third index to the end. If I don't put anything here, it will be a start. If I don't put here, it will be end if I don't put anything here. Okay, it's a simple example that we have here to work with the indexes in the list. Let's go and have this example back and talk about more methods that we have in the list and we can use them. We have something that I called fruits.append. It will add blueberry at the end of the list. Let's assume in some situation we want to add this blueberry, for example, at the index 1, after apple and before banana. How can I handle this? We have another simple method for this, fruits dot insert. It will give us two arguments, as you can see here. The first one will be the index that we want to insert to. As I said, we want to have an item between apple and banana. We can put one here, and second one, it will be, let's have orange. Second one will be the value. And if I print this list here, and as you can see, after apple and before banana, we have orange added here. Okay. Okay, let's go to another one. We want to, for example, have a variable with the name last item, for example, and it should have the value of last item that we have in the list. Okay, simply we can have, for example, say fruits 2. It will contain the value of last one. Am I right? Okay. So if I run the code, you can see cherry in the output. But if I have this code and put it back and insert and something between apple and banana and run this code, as you can see, it will print the banana here. So banana is not our last item. If I print the whole list that we have here, the last item will be cherry. But as we change something in line 16, you can see it won't return the last item. How we can handle this situation? For example, we have a simple method here that we can say number of the list and after that pop. It will give us the last item that we have in the array and in the list. What's happened then? It will pop that. It means remove that. Okay? It's something that it's doing right now. I put the last item in a variable, and also it removed the cherry, as you can see here. Okay? So if I, for example, do something like this and comment it out, as you can see, fruits.pop will remove the last item, will pop the last item from the list. Okay. Another thing that we have here, for example, let's assume that we have a list of a number like this, and we want to understand how many times, for example, number 1 repeated in the list. How we can handle that? We have also another simple method for this. For example, numbers dot count, for example, number 1. It means a number, how many times this number 1 repeated in our list. Let me print it out and let's see what we have in the output. In this case, we have 1 time. And if I add, for example, number 1 again at the end of the list, as you can see, we have 2 times right now. These are some methods that we have in the list and we can work with. Let's combine list with for loop that we talked about the for loop in another section. If you don't know what is for loop, just please find the link in the description. And I want to print out each item. What do I mean? I mean I want to print 0, after that 1, after that 2 in separate line. How we can handle that? With simple for. I can say for number in numbers, just print number for me. And as you can see here, it will go through the list, iterate the list, and print each item for me. Okay, so that's the for loop, combining a for loop and the list that we have. Another thing that I want to talk about it in this section is to have different data types in our list. For example, let's assume that we have an info list. In the first index, I mean in the 0 index, we have 42. After that we have Python. After that we can have, for example, 3.14 p number. After that we can have true, and after that we can have another list. As you can see here, each index of this info list has different data type. For example, this one is integer, this one is string, float, boolean, another list. Using a list in another list. That is very important. We are calling that nested loop, that nested list, that I will talk about this in another section. It's really important things to define matrix and something like that. And as you can see here, we can have list with different types. I mean a list that in each index has a different type and a different type. For example, if I print info 0 in the index 0, and for example index 3, and let's see what we have else, index 4. Okay, if I run this code, as you can see here, we have 42 true and another list. So it's another feature that list has, as I mentioned at the first of the video. Okay, that's it in this section. I talked about how we can define lists. I talked about some of the methods that we have and we can use in the list. Just to tell you this important note again, lists are very important things in Python that we can store different types of data in that.